Thank you, Mr. Secretary. And we also appreciate General Dempsey being with us today to answer any members' questions. And if I could go, Secretary Kerry, to you for a question, something I referenced in my opening statement. Other countries are watching. As I understand it, the administration and you, as a matter of fact, have been in contact with the governments in discussions with South Korea, with Turkey, with Saudi Arabia, with Israel, and I've read several others in the press. I was going to ask you the communications that you're having. What are they communicating to you about this incident when you talk to these governments?
Mr. Chairman, I'm very happy to share that with you. Let me just say at the outset, I mentioned an email I got coming in. The same news outlet, Reuters, has now said that the Syrian government is saying that the defection hasn't taken place. So who knows whether it has or it hasn't. What I do know is this. The intelligence is very clear, and in other settings I urge you to go and look at it, that there are currently defections taking place. I think there's something like 60 to 100 in the last day or so, officers and enlisted personnel, and there are serious questions taking place among the so-called elite of Syria about whether or not Bashar al-Assad has kind of run the table here too far, and that there are serious questions about the future. I just put that on the table for you to think about.
And the views, we understand, but the views of South Korea, the views of the government of Turkey,
we have reached
Israel.
out to over 100 countries. We continue to reach out to these countries. 53 countries or organizations have acknowledged that chemical weapons were used, and 37 of them have said so publicly. That will grow as the evidence that we released yesterday becomes more prevalent. I will be meeting with the foreign ministers of Europe, 28 foreign ministers in Vilnius on Saturday. This will clearly be a topic of discussion, and many of them have had reservations waiting for the evidence. So I see many more countries joining. 31 countries or organizations have stated publicly or privately that the Assad regime is responsible for this attack, and that was before our evidence package was put together. And 34 countries or organizations have indicated that if the allegations prove to be true, they would support some form of action against Syria. Now, to be more specific and bear down on the President's proposal and this particular action, currently in the region there are a number of countries, friends of ours, that have offered to be part of this operation. And those countries can speak for themselves, but there are more countries who have offered to be part of this operation than our military currently believes we need to have part of it in order to effect the operation. Obviously, there's an interest in having an international, multinational effort, and I think the President is committed to doing so. But there are friends of ours, including France, as you know, which is sticking with its position, and others in the region who are prepared to be part of this operation with us.
Let me ask a question of our Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, General Dempsey. One of the first reactions that I have gotten from members here was on the open-ended nature of that authorization. And as you know, on the Senate side, there's now discussion. We all know there's no support for boots on the ground on the House side, but that doesn't reference it in the authorization. Now they are. They're taking that off the table. They're looking at a short time frame. They're talking about a comprehensive Syrian strategy, and resolutions here on the House side likewise are coming at this from a different direction than the original authorization. I would like your views. Can you express your perception or your response to the initiatives that you now see or the resolutions that you now see on the Senate side, and and here on the House side on rewriting the original authorization.
Yeah, thanks, Congress. Thanks, Chairman. I have made it a point of importance not to discuss my personal views about the resolution. That's for you to determine. I will tell you that militarily, the broader the resolution, the more options I can provide. But that said, I'll also assure you that the President has given me quite clear guidance that this will be a limited and focused operation, not an open-ended operation.
Well, I think that, and I'll maybe go to Secretary Hagel there for a few comments on this, if you could sum up. But again, it's very clear on the House side, there is no support for boots on the ground and the desire to rewrite the authorization. Your response.
I saw one draft this morning, Mr. Chairman, from the Senate side. I have not seen anything since over the last few hours. I know all of our agencies represented at this table, as well as the National Security Council, are working with the appropriate committee people, and I have confidence that we'll be able to come up with a mutually agreed upon resolution to be able to accomplish the objective.
We'll go to Mr. Engel.